There it is. Man, 20 miles, almost all downhill. And I probably got another 30 miles, all downhill. And the wind is pushing me along. This is like the second time the wind has been at my tail, and it's the real deal. Action cam. Okay. Oh. This is Highway 95, and there's hardly any traffic. It's really not habitated with people and houses and stuff along the road. Some pretty long stretches between stops and water, 50 miles maybe. Other than scrounging for water, I've had good luck. We've had some pretty wet weather, and there's lots of water all along the side of the road. Really scenic through here, but I don't feel the camera is capturing it. It's just so vast. You look at one thing, it looks cool, and then there's like 20 other things right around it. And down at the bottom, Powell Lake, maybe even Glen Canyon. Down at the bottom, still quite a ways, is Powell Lake and Glen Canyon. There's going to be a huge temperature difference. I was up near 7,000 feet last night. It was really comfortable. Whoa. That's way cool. This deep snaking canyon in here. there's water down there. A lot of them. Fantastic. This is almost like riding a motorcycle. I don't have to do anything but steer. Probably won't see much more terrain like this after I go through this Glen Canyon. These are the canyon lands, and just about everything interesting is down in the canyon. And that's or on the cliff walls. I'm gonna put the camera away. I feel very vulnerable. It seems dangerous. Very quickly, I'm coming, hopefully, to the edge of this canyon. Yep, and it's pretty far off. The road got pretty close. Yeah. And we're another couple hundred yards from the cliff into the canyon. I thought it would be right here. It's cool enough though. This first circular butte is called Cheese Box Butte. Maybe they used to make cheese in big circles, probably. Well, here we are. It's the canyon I've been following. 40 miles downhill. It's starting to get a little dry. I'm hoping There's a couple campgrounds down the way. I don't know if I want to spend money. I'm sure they're probably going to want $20 because it's a national park. Because they flooded a huge canyon with a dam. Anyway, I just wanted to come over here and check this out. Almost looks like a cave right there. Yeah, that would be a tragic moment to fall down that. You know, I could probably get down there, like over there, by that tree. There's a draw going up that way. But I got myself into a kind of a sticky situation yesterday, and I didn't like it. I'm not here to tempt a broken leg or anything like that. I'm on a bicycle trip, and I can't afford to crack up on a wall somewhere. Well, I'm just hoping that maybe down at the bottom or close to the bottom, I'll have a nice place like this. I can see dirt bike tracks down there. That fucking sucks. I would throw rocks at them if I saw them come by. Wanted to say there's been plenty of wildlife that I haven't mentioned. I saw road runners, plenty of lizards, little small lizards, lots of crows or ravens, probably ravens. Many smaller birds. I was surprised to see so many smaller birds in the small shrubbery in the sage desert there. Some deer yesterday. It was nice. They were coming right through the campsite, but then they were scared. They saw me, and then I talked to them. And then they slowed down and came back across that boulder field. More wildlife are these almost like gnats. They might be mayflies, but they're starting to swarm my head. And I do have a head net, which I might just use. My guess is these campgrounds down here by Powell Lake are just going to be infested with mosquitoes. This is some really cool scenery. This one is a real sweetheart of a cactus flower to see. So I'm down at the bottom following this canyon, and this canyon is like massive ass deep now. Holy man, look at this. I don't want to get to the edge here. I'd rather stay on the bridge. Oh, this is good. Oh, look at that. Oh. Yeah, I got the rush, man. When I looked over the edge, even though there's this railing right here, woo! There's even water running still down there. crazy. And what I found out is I'm going to be leaving this tomorrow and I won't see any more canyon land. Well, it's kind of spooky out here. Where you see the green down at the bottom, that's the Colorado River. There's a grouping of buildings over there, height. I didn't need to go there. I've got just enough water to get where I'm going. Across this valley, the road continues. So it basically goes up this way, all the way back, and then back down this way. But the crossing of the Colorado River was an important step for my trip because I had to get across the Grand Canyon. And I didn't want to go south into the desert, so I went north. Basically, this highway 95, is like almost a scenic byway. There are no houses, no establishments back here. It's really nice. A little desolate. For some reason, I think there's not much of a lake higher up here. They must have lowered the water level. I was expecting to see water in here because it shows on my map there's water. But this, in my opinion, is much better. That if it is free flowing now, a whole lot better. So I got, man, just a little bit more today. It was a great day. Really, just kind of like so strange how you can drop down to a completely different environment. Probably 3,000 feet down in elevation today. This is a miracle. A picnic table, and it's mine. I'm just gonna bogart this here picnic table tonight and tomorrow. I'm gonna pitch my tent back here. I'll probably like take the bike and lock it up there and set up right here. This is Hog Canyon here. There's a couple springs up higher. There's even a hiking trail here. So I've got fresh. So this is like a way cool bonus spot here. I've got water tonight, tomorrow, all I want. I've got the picnic table. And I can even explore the canyon a little bit. It's nice. I just might have the incursion of people, but this highway is so lonesome. I doubt it.
What did you say in English? Le mal dominant?
The alpha?
The alpha?
I'm so glad you saw those.
Yeah.
Me too. A different animal.
And because they climb so much, they're really strong.
Ah, look. It's gonna go at the top. Wow.
Yeah, the alpha.
Yeah. I got the beer up
Yeah.
here, assholes.
Get out!
Wow.
Like what you said, maybe they are thirsty. They
Yeah.
want to drink something.
Oh, I'm sure. This is the swimming hole in the Hog Canyon. It's pretty massive. I wish I was here yesterday when it was really hot. I'd be all over this. And this is pretty cool. There's actually some small ferns clinging to the rocks. I didn't think I'd see any ferns for a long time. It's pretty cool. Saw some big cat tracks just a little ways back, trying to figure out where they came from and where they went. They just kind of came to the water's edge and they were gone. Pretty beautiful. What's beautiful about it is there's hardly any water back here, and then you have this.
Very good.
Yeah, we are at 0 for yesterday, but today it's gonna be.
There's the sun. All right, I've met some fellow travelers, and they're gonna tell you the story about themselves.
Alright, well, hello, my name is Marie,
And my name is Gail.
and we are originally from Belgium, but we spent the last 6 months in Montreal working, and then we chose to travel with a minivan, and we went through the East Coast till Florida, Miami, and then going
The Everglades, right?
Yeah, Everglades
You said that
and
might
the
have been
Keys.
your favorite place?
Yeah, it was beautiful
Wow.
with all the alligators and all the swamp with the sky reflecting in it.
Okay.
It was beautiful. And then we went through Louisiana, Texas,
Yeah.
New Mexico,
Guadalupe.
yeah,
Carlsbad.
Guadalupe Mountain, Carlsbad, and then Arizona and Utah here. So we next gonna go to Monument Valley and Mesa Verde, Colorado, and then going north until the Yellowstone,
Yeah.
and then go back to Canada, do the west of Canada, Vancouver, and go
Okay.
back to Montreal.
I'm gonna sell my bike and go with you guys.
Yeah.
I'll give you the gas money that I get from that. And you like to look for treasure?
Yeah,
In-
of course.
In the caves, we
Yeah.
went up to the caves last
Yeah.
night looking for
Yeah,
treasure.
it was amazing, yeah, but I didn't see any treasure.
No gold either.
No, just petroglyphs and graffiti.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank
you.
you.
Safe trip.
Yeah, thanks. I found this amazing petroglyph. The lady told me to come and look at. There are no signs. It's getting warm. I wish I would have started. But here it is. It's fabulous. And the thing I have to think about is how many more were there that have crumbled down? This one looks like it just might crumble at any minute and fall down. She said this was over 10,000 years old. Man, it took forever to get out of that little rest area. People kept talking and coming by and all this. I've got 10 miles to Hanksville. 20 miles so far today, 62 miles yesterday. That was great. A lot of it was downhill, I have to admit. I didn't earn it, but I guess in the long run I did. As with yesterday, today I have just an amazing tailwind from the south pushing me north. I swear if it were reversed and I was going this way, it would just be brutal. I would be hating it. And yesterday, the wind was in my favor also. And I was just flying downhill. I couldn't believe it. But I know I'm going to have to pay my dues sometime again. Today is shower time, laundry time, grocery time, maybe bicycle time, and possibly a trip north to a Slot Canyon hiking trail, but I'm not feeling it right now because I can tell it's a climb out of this valley. Here it is, Hanksville. There's the tent. The bike is over there under the awning, locked up. This is an RV campground. I had a great shower after 9 days and got the clothes washed. So now all I have to do is rest up to hit it in the morning. There was this nasty blast of wind. There's like these storms kind of floating around. Didn't get me yet, but it blew a bunch of sand into the tent, and there was sand all over this lens. I was so pissed. This lens was in the back corner of the tent. The wind was like so strong. I got into the tent because I thought it was going to blow away. Right on, I think we're 608 miles. It's not bad. like just over 34 miles today. All easy. There were some climbs. The wind was just pushing me along. Dang. I could fix this up. I'd live here. This is pretty cool. There's the basement. Damn. Didn't have a tetanus shot, I don't think, in a while. Oh, look at there. That's pretty cool. Not too far from Hanksville. All these rocks, they'll stay a long time, man. A long time. Way impromptu setup. Really a weird day, man. I got stuck at that RV park talking to people. One would come, and you know, you can't just, it's like a community until you escape. Yeah, and the thing that stopped me from getting out of there early, I was up at 6, I decided to clean my chain again and the derailleur. And one thing I discovered today, which I had no clue what was causing it, I would stop and I'd get started again and the chain would just go crazy trying to find a sprocket. I'm like, what the flippin' F, you know? And realized it was because the handlebars got turned like at a really strong angle. And so it shifted the gears. And so now I know why that happened. It's happened a couple times. And like the chain just like pops right in onto a sprocket, and I'm like, no, don't do that, man. You'll break your chain. Well, it got windy real quick, and right when I set this tent up, it stopped. Very strange. So, here's the highway. I was pedaling into the wind, horrible gusty wind. I went through, when you see the tumbleweeds, you're going to be pedaling through some crazy ass wind, and I just had like blasts of dust hit my face. When the semis go by, I have to duck and downshift and get a blast of crap from the road. So, only 18 miles. But the thing is, I'm right before entering Capitol Reef National Park. And you can't just camp anywhere, and there's no cover, from what I was told. I mean, this is the example. There's no cover. And what I think it is, it's like painted rocks and stuff like that. But I have no desire to even go to a national park. I just don't know why. I'm just not happy with the government, I guess. and how everything has been chopped down to like one ponderosa tree left. If they, if that's how they want to manage my country, I don't want to adhere to any of their principles, and I just want to keep going right through. And of course you see the rain clouds, and the real tricky thing with that right here is the drain from this. On top of that, we've got this like crumbled up rock, and it's just like sponge cake. And when this gets wet, it's just nasty, rotten stuff to be anywhere near. And I'm kind of in the middle of it. Why I picked this spot, and the guy at the farm where I got some water, is like a farm down the road, says camp on sand. Well, I'm on kind of a layer of broken rocks. It's pretty solid. It's still taking a chance, because all this stuff is just going to be mud if it gets wet. And I won't even want to get out of here. But what I'll do, if that happens, I'll just walk things down to the road one at a time. Strange day today, and wanted to pedal farther, I couldn't. There's a campground in the middle, but it was 12 or 15 more miles, and I was really just being thrown around and stopped on the road. And now it's too late in my mind to keep going. It's 3 o'clock. I mean, I don't know if it's done being windy. It's done now, but here it is. I've made my choice. And one factor in just finding a place as soon as possible was out in this vast craziness, I saw a stork fly above me. And I felt it was an omen to find a place to camp and stop riding. Being thrown around with traffic is not safe. Yay! Boo! Yay! Now there. Oh, I'd have to get. You too. Be safe. Man, that was super cool. I saw the cars like pulling to the other lane. I'm thinking, oh, someone's down there. And then like these bicyclists are down there. I'm like, yeah, maybe. One thing I'm glad about stopping here And now with this sun, it was like a complete transformation from when I came up here. But it kind of gives me the sense that I'm spending some time in a certain place to experience it. I mean, it's pretty cool sitting up here, these long distance views. You know, it's opposed to the craze to get to the next city where I can spend $89 on a television set in a smoky, stinky room. But the point is like, just spend some time in some of these places. It fills it out, even though it just doesn't have a name, and I can't say I was there at this place. This is great. This is great. I'm in the crazy middle of Utah. Here's the other thing that's going on is this storm that's coming. I can see thunderheads and big clouds and stuff over here in almost every direction except here. But it's supposed to last 3 days. And I can see snow up on these ridges, and it's going to get cold and nasty. Like for 3 days, and it's going to really suck. So I think I might try to get to a motel tomorrow. Today's Saturday. No, Friday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'm getting a bicycle tire in Ridgefield. So I just hope I can get through this stuff without horrible discomfort. Man, those 4 bicyclists don't seem to mind crap. This is almost humiliating with this sudden break in this nasty weather and nasty weather forecast. I've been sitting here for almost 3 hours in the sun, which and the wind is like completely still, nothing. And this is like 3 hours that I probably could have pedaled at least 20 miles, and it's a little frustrating. So, man, don't follow me. Well, this is a great morning. I had a great night. That was the Caneville Reef that I was camped in. And the water over time has made these hills, because the sediment and the rock are so loose that they look like underwater reefs. That's my only guess. So I'm going into Capitol Reef National Park. And the thing is, where I was camped, I was so afraid I was going to get rained on. It sprinkled for just a little bit last night. And then off to my right, maybe even like over here, there was this amazing lightning show, and it just kind of hung there all night into the morning. When I got up at 5, it was still flashing over there. But I had stayed completely clear and dry where I was. And it's almost like it's going this way, kind of like scooting in my direction. But you see, I haven't taken off my rain gear yet. Because unless it keeps falling apart, I'm going into it. And it just rained here through this stretch. Things are all right. Nice, good early start today. I sure wish they let people camp back here. It's the national park. I mean, you could probably get a permit if you asked. But, you know, walk back about 8 miles, probably find a spring or something back here. Yeah, this is probably going to go on. I wanted to get a little slot canyon experience, but I guess it's not going to happen here. Oh, I have to do a lot of work. I'm just going to go back to the bicycle. It's a couple 100 yards.
Give me a good gobble. Gobble, 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 gobble. And the ladies are coming. Hello. Yes. Hello.
What a great break in the weather. It's like diminishing this way, cloudy that way, where I came from. And this was really interesting here. These layers are from a lake on the bottom, a forest sediment in the middle, and then on top, hardened sand, like from a desert. There was like a massive desert here at one point. And I was thinking that, and I was like going to say, oh, blah, 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 blah. But man, it's great to really know for sure now. This is my home for this evening. Right here. Just a perfect place tucked back into this small drainage. And you can see here the pine needles on the floor. That space doesn't wash away. I'll have a nice dry camp regardless if it rains. Now there was just a massive thunderclap back here. I'm just out of the Capitol Reef National Park, and I'm gonna have to climb over this ridge to get water from Sulphur Creek. It was a short ride today. It's not even noon. I've put on 25 miles. And the thing is tomorrow's Sunday, so I can't go to the bicycle shop. So I have to kind of grandpa move it slowly there. I'm going to have to spend another night and go there Monday. And it's probably only 40 miles away. But this is great. I got water supply, food, and I'm also waiting out this storm system. It's coming tonight and tomorrow, but today's ride, man, was spectacular. The timing of everything was just fantastic, fantastic. The berries are falling. I'm just below. No, that's hail. I was gonna say I'm just below snow level, and I'm gonna shut the door. Ugh. Crazy.
Come on. Okay. Let me sit you right there. Oh, it snuck in. Woo! No, we can get these out. They're like little water puddles when they melt. Wasn't ready for that.
So the thing is, it could be cold. It is cold actually, but colder tonight. I'm all good with layers and everything, and just have to get through these mountain cities up here. I think it's like 15 miles, or maybe a little more, to the basic plateau or summit, and then I go back down to Richfield or Richland for the bicycle parts or supplies. And this was a good choice too, because had I gone into town, which was only a few more miles, I mean, that's like your instinct is to get to the town. Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy with all these people trying to go to the, you know, the national park up here. What a horrible place for cars and idiots, man. So, what I was going to say, you know, your basic instinct is to go to the city, and you're like, oh, shit, a guy on a bicycle starting to get rained on. He looks like the saddest thing around, and he's like, I need some shelter, I need some warm something or other. And so instead of that, I bailed here and didn't have a choice to spend 50 or 80 bucks or whatever on a room. You know, I met this guy. You met him too. He said he does not pay money to stay in motels. And he doesn't pay money to stay in RV parks or state parks. Man, it's gotta wear on you. So what I am thinking though is that I'm almost due for a it's cool, it's like echoing off that mountain face. I'm due for a motel room, but I don't know where. I'm getting a power-up package in Ely, Nevada, and it might be like 7 days after the bicycle shop, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. It might be 5 days. So I'm getting a room there. I just don't know if I can go the 5 days in this cold weather. It's gonna break on Monday. We'll see. What we've got is there's basically snow. I mean, I can see straight across the valley. The snow level is almost even with that fog. And luckily right here there's a break, so I'm out looking for water, and I'm kind of going like this through these little miniature washes. It's over this way, or I could go down this way, but I am going to climb up this way when I come back, because there's just kind of this ledge that will take me to the valley I need to go down, or the little wash, and I can just be right above my campsite. Even something like this, just going out for water, is just a mini adventure. Well, this is Sulphur Creek, and the highway is just down here. And I saw these trickles of water from the highway, and I figured there'd be more farther up the valley, and I'm sure there is, but it's all sand and rock and everything in this wash until like 50 yards back. And there's cattle grazing just above this. So I'm a little hesitant. I'm going to collect a 1.5 liters from this pool right here, because a little farther up there's some algae just sitting, kind of slow moving, but this is all like collapsed and fresh and stuff, and it's the cleanest choice, I think, here. I just have to be careful not to disturb it. It's this mud that you can sink into. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But then, oh, I've got this great afternoon, evening hike planned. There's this, there are actually 2 ledges above my campsite, and you can see like the lines across the wall here. I'm going to go up to the top ledge and hike that whole thing. It's going to be incredible. So I'll start there and just go across this way. And it looks wide enough. There's foliage and trees. Is there enough room? I think so. Well, this worked out here. Got my water. What I did was I blocked this little bit of a stream here, and I figured it would be filtering through these rocks for this whatever 30 feet, so it would help filter it. And then I just blocked the stream here so I could scoop the water with my cup into my bag, my squeeze bag, and then I just squeeze it through the filter. And now I've got some hiking water for today. I had surprisingly a lot of water when I got to camp here. 1.5. I have an emergency half. So that's 2, and then maybe almost 3 liters, which I could have spent the night without this, but now I'm going to be plenty hydrated. Last night I was not. The night before I was not. So I'm going to hydrate and take a really cool hike up there. So I just climbed up 10 or 15 minutes, and I got up real quick. I'm on the bottom layer. And there's the second one right there. I'm going to get up there, and it's going to be easy right up this way, I think. Originally I thought of this, oh man, this place right here. I'll probably come down that. This is massive cool. I'm gonna have to take this wide angle lens off. Right up this. And that's the top. There were some other places that those are the Henry Mountains. I bicycled completely around those. This is Capitol Reef. And there's some snowy mountains over there. What happens is they basically hold on to these cold weather patterns, maybe even building them up. But when the wind blows, it's cold if it comes from where the snow is. And I'm gonna go just right up on top there. It's nice, there's a pretty well-worn trail up here. Makes trekking easier. And I am just stunned at my fortune with this weather. Yesterday, this morning, you know, I had a nice clear dry setup this morning, and I've been kind of just pushing this way with the blue skies. Can't believe it. And next I have to go even higher. This has been a long bicycle climb. It will be like a 50-mile climb. And there's some pretty serious hills. I came up a 10% grade. That was hard. But luckily, no traffic. Now this highway is like a zoo with people going in and out and everywhere. But I'm probably going to go off in this direction. You probably can't see. I can see, I think. There's a faint impression of a very big cat. Yeah, look how big that paw print is. That's like the biggest I've ever seen. See, that's one thing you gotta look for, man, is animal tracks. And you know, one question I had is, man, do the animals come up here? Yes. Maybe not the deer. I told them about the pemmican jerky party, and they're not interested in that. Well, really cold night last night. Woke up at 3:30 and had to put my long johns on. And then finally, I got some sleep. And then I got up at 6 instead of 5, thinking there would be a little more sun. I had a great sunny morning, and then I came up higher. I don't know. I think basically I came from over that way. And I have a pass to get up through this way. And then we're looking for some water at a rest stop. And then we're going to look for a campsite. There was a Family Dollar store down here, and I really needed some snacks. And it was perfect. It's Sunday, and it was like the only store open around here. And so that's my story. This was my bailout shelter. It's been a real crappy day for weather. Cold morning. It's the first day I had to ride with long johns on, uphill, and still they were on for a long time, 2 or 3 hours. And I just had this real nasty heavy downpour, but I pulled into here. It's some kind of maintenance bay for sand or something, and I grabbed this shelter, and it's the second time on a bicycle trip that I collected water from the roof drain right here. I just came over here because I thought I might have to set my tent up somewhere nearby if it kept up. And I grabbed this water here. Way too much, but it kept coming and I just kept taking it. But right now all I have is what's in my bag, and it's around a liter. And I have an emergency half-liter in my bag. But in a situation like this, man, you just don't know what's going to happen. And now I'm prepared to have drinking water, and if I have to, I can camp here, which I don't want to do. I'd love to have a motel room right now, but it's 30 miles away. It's 3 o'clock. And I just don't feel like pushing hard for a motel room, because I've been pushing hard all day to get to this summit. Pretty nasty, real nasty. Yeah, also, my arms from like halfway from my elbow right here, they've been like cold and numb and almost like arthritis-like, almost maybe hypothermia, but I can't put anything else on underneath this jacket. I'll get sweaty pedaling. Just a wicked day. One of the worst traveling days so far. And it's clear over here. And probably the best choice right now would be for me to ride down in elevation. I'm going to go for it. And decide I'm not going to carry all this water. Yep. Man, that looks cool, that shirt in this color. It's funny because when I was thrift shopping, I could only find decent shirts like this with girl colors. But I didn't care. I don't care. this climb to this pass that I just came down was like 80 miles. 80 miles from Hanksville to the top. Just back here. 8,200 and something feet. No wonder, man, I was hurting. Not hurting, but just dragging. Dragging is a good word for that. And hampered by the weather. Today was the worst weather day ever because that rain was ice cold. And I was losing ever since this morning. I was not able to grasp things and manipulate my hands well because they've been cold all day. Even this morning in the sun, it was cold. The wind was just biting cold. I hope things get better. Tomorrow I get a new bicycle tire. This could go a lot longer, I think, but I was digging in there and I saw the Kevlar layer. And I was thinking, man, that thing is deep in there. So, it's a good time to change it. I'm down with that. This is at a rest area, and I had to kind of sneak away from the rest area, which is over here. There's no camping, but there's running water in the bathroom. So in the morning, I'll have to go in there and get some drinking water. Not much, just to get me to Richland, I think. And that's still quite a ride for the morning, 28 miles. Probably some hills, but I'm quite happy now, man, just to warm up in this sleeping bag and these warm clothes. It was a harsh day. Even my toes were cold in my boots for maybe 2 hours this morning. I did beat the traffic up the hills into Torrey. And then it started picking up as I got into these other small, really quaint Mormon cities, Loa, and from the national parks. My goodness, just so much traffic, so many retards, just blasting away. It's so disgusting. I was quite angry, and it just being flustered and having the wind blast you in the face while you're trying to climb up a hill in the cold snow, and not snow, but like hail and biting rain. Man, I got into the pass and the rain was just biting me in the face. Oh, cold, man. Yeah, that looks great. That's not where I camped. It's the rest area. There's the highway. There are the mountains. And there's all my stuff, which is a lot wet. It was a pretty wet night. It rained maybe 3 times. So my tent is all wet. The tarp is wet. Oh, you're gonna do that. So my tent is wet. The tarp is pretty soaked. A few other things inside the tent got wet, but mostly I have everything in a Ziploc bag. Yeah, the bags got wet even though I tried to cover them with the blue tarp. And these are pretty wet. And this has got to be all wet, this thing here. There's somebody came in here last night at like midnight. They must have parked. I thought from all the banging and clanging that was going on, I thought it was like a horse trailer or something. But I almost think it was an RV. Midnight, and then they were gone like at 5. So yeah, I had another horrible night's sleep. But I guess it was nice to have that little bit of brief sanctuary back there. The ground was cold. It was a problem pretty much all night, but I slept. Now today I gotta go get a bicycle tire 28 miles into town, and I'm trying to decide. There's two choices. I can stay here and try to dry off in a sunbreak, which might be here in like an hour or two. It's a lot of time to waste, or pack up. Thinking about getting a room tonight if it's inexpensive. Nice to completely dry everything out, and get the room, unload the bike, go get the bike taken care of, come back to the room, relax, whatever. The other choice is go directly to the bike store and shoot for this campground that I want to check out, Maple Grove. It's like in the national forest, but kind of like away from the road a bit. I don't know. I made some coffee, and that's gonna help me decide. Here it is. It's my third motel room, and this is great news. I got my new tire on there. I got a new chain. He trued the front wheel a little better than the last guy. And what else? I've got a chain puller here. I bought a chain puller for $17, and I have some extra chain links. And I said, well, nothing's going to happen now that I have the new chain, but I got those parts for the bike and the rest of my life. What else? There's a Walmart here. Didn't know it. I got some stuffed sacks. Mine are pretty much falling apart. I don't know if they're waterproof anymore, I don't think. There's some fuel for my stove. Lots of snacks, jalapenos. I'm gonna try this one. Uinta Wild. Pretty good. There's some light. Yay! So, this is Richland. There's even a big 5 store here. I popped in to say something, but she was busy. That's about it. The ride down was just spectacular. It was worth all of that 80-mile effort to get up there. It was like 8 miles downhill. And this one crazy hill was a 10% grade, and I started going down it, but they've got these like rubber sort of patches, not rubber, but the tar patches in the road, and they're like kind of like squiggly lines, and the sun had heated them up. And I hit this one, and I thought I was going to crash because it was just like it took my front tire in. Pretty bad, but I guess right now everything is okay except for all of this crap that I have to put in my bag. But I don't care. I'm gonna do it.